Thank you. We're calling our business meeting to order. Again, this is December 22nd, 2022. And I'll start off with a act of reverence and pledge of allegiance to the flag. And so if there is someone there who would like to, I'll say Commissioner Malloy, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Sure.
If you'd be so kind.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Malloy. I'm going to, let me just understand that there are a number of students who are there. I'm sorry that I couldn't be there to welcome you in person, but welcome. This is how democracy works. And I'll tell you, it's almost like an addiction. Once you get involved with this, it's hard to get out. I've been doing this work for more than 40 years or so. It's great work. But welcome, and you're seeing how a democracy works. So thank you for coming. And I'm going to turn it over to Rahima to announce the upcoming board events. Rahima?
Good evening. Thank you, President Elliott. Before we announce the upcoming events, I just want to acknowledge that in our special meeting that the resolution for Superintendent Peluso was announced as Resolution 287, I believe, and it was in fact Resolution 340. We can amend and make a note in the minutes, but wanted to know, are there objections to that?
Yeah, I think I got carried away on that. I looked at in the body of the resolution as opposed to looking at the top, so that was my mistake. I apologize, Dr. Peluso.
Right, and I'll just add as a parliamentarian, the resolution that was being voted on was perfectly clear. It's at most a minor misstatement. It was motioned properly, seconded properly, yeah, the vote was unanimous. So I don't see any issue, and on a small board, that's perfectly fine.
So the resolution will read as 340, correct, General Counsel?
Correct. Again, it was, as you said, a minor misstatement when you said it. It was the only resolution on the agenda, so there can be no mistake about what was being voted on.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. So I'd like to share the January 2023 board events. On January 3rd at 6 p.m., we will hold our annual organizational meeting, followed by professional development on Robert's Rules of Order. Following that, on Thursday, January 5th at 5:30 p.m., we will have the first work session of the year. On Tuesday, January 10th, also at 5:30, we will convene the policy and CIGR committee meetings. The following week, January 17th, will be the ESA, followed by the special meeting for consideration of resolutions. We will have the Human Resource Committee convene on Tuesday, January 24th at 5:30, followed by our monthly business meeting on January 26th at 6:30. Just as a reminder that employees, parents, and students are welcome to set up meetings with Board President Cynthia Elliott for 30 minutes on Mondays, and you can do so by going to our website at rcsdk12.org. Additionally, individuals who would like to speak and address the board may register by contacting the Board of Education via phone at 262-8525 or by email at boardofeducation@rcsdk12.org. And this would need to be done by noon on the day of the meeting. The board continues to recruit for parent representatives for our committees, which are the Audit Committee, this Community and Intergovernmental Relations, known as CIGR, our Finance and Resource Allocation Committee, Policy Development, Human Resources, and Equity and Student Achievement. Individuals who are parents, grandparents, or legal guardians of students currently attending the RCSD and are interested in applying may also do so at our website at rcsdk12.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahima. We have the next item for approval is the minutes, but we do not have the minutes available at this time, so we will approve them at the next business meeting. And then we'll go down to those who are interested in speaking before the board. And the first person is Kimberly Bennett.
She in the room, Dejan?
Ms. Bennett was going to be in person, I believe.
It says via Zoom.
Oh, she
on
changed to Zoom. My
Yeah.
apologies.
So
Okay.
President Elliott, you can move to the next speaker.
Yes, so the next speaker is Judson Dole. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. If not, please correct me.
Yep, just come to the podium, so. Mr. Dole, you will have 3 minutes when you're ready to start.
Hello? Okay. Hi, my name is Judson Dole. I am a manufacturer's representative for ASSA ABLOY Door Security Solutions, the world-leading manufacturer of doors and door hardware. I'm also a city resident, now for over 20 years. The Rochester City School District has a good history of using ASSA ABLOY products and has benefited in doing so. In the facilities modernization project, there are plans to upgrade the existing locks to wireless security locks for access control. I'm here speaking to you today because we at ASSA ABLOY have not been given the opportunity to present a solution that will better serve financially and effectively. While maintaining the Rochester City School District's operations personal preference for Schlage locks, we can still maintain that standard while introducing a superior classroom door security product. Since this solution is 1/3 the cost, you will be able to electrify more openings for a fraction of the price. Existing locks can stay in place. What's being proposed, the existing locks that may have been purchased recently or within the last 10 years that are probably still under warranty, would have to be removed and replaced with what's being proposed. Instead of throwing away the perfectly good locks, we can provide access control openings without having to waste the previous purchases. Battery maintenance as well, with the product being proposed, we'll use twice as many batteries as the products that I represent. We have not experienced any supply chain issues either. Securing the classroom doors and administration rooms can happen right away. The product that is being proposed currently, there are extended lead times. The solution would jeopardize the safety of the children and the staff. We can still maintain grade 1 lockdown door status. It's less expensive. As a manufacturer rep, I can provide you with all the statistics and all the performance. But as a taxpayer, I don't understand why we haven't been given the opportunity to present this to the operations team at the city school district. That's what I'm asking, is to consider the product. I think it would be a better solution, saving the taxpayers lots of money. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Dole. We appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next item on the agenda is the Parent Leadership Advisory Council.
Hi, Ms. Hines. Nope, if you hit the button on top, please. Thank you. You got it.
Hi, good evening. Before I start, I just want to say to Dr. Peluso, we have a gift from our Plaque leadership team on your great thing for becoming our superintendent, and we really appreciate you. Good evening to the board and people who are out in the audience tonight. We're coming to you today to say the Rochester City School District has eliminated parents and students from the decision-making process while making the assignment, parents advocates within the district's gatekeepers to access instead of leadership and openness. A new placement process has been put into place without a single parent or student voice. Those who are most affected by these decisions have been left out of the conversation, like a grandfather of 11 students in the RCSD scholars at 4652, number 8 school, and also Edison, Monroe, and Soda. He has never registered a single child online, but at the end of the school year has a child moving into kindergarten, 7th and 9th grade, none of which would be moved to a different academy institute and could be done by opting in to the standards. For kindergarten specifically, 27 of the 31 elementary schools in the district have pre-K4 classrooms that could provide opting in options for students to move up to kindergarten. Parents who choose those pre-K classrooms chose carefully, often only picking one or two schools within walking distance, turning down lottery choices and entering waiting lists for months, only now be put back into the same system as we had within the later years. At some time, the lottery system preys on our most valuable families. It requires registration, our families, by February, when many don't know where they will be living next week, let alone 9 months from now. The punishment of choosing them out of choice by closing the Schools of Choice program 2 months later than the previous years, while communicating to notifying families months later, is telling of the district. Those focused on the adults' needs are not the children. A lookout of parents and students' voices come first. Our attentions from the district parents. The transfer process shifted this school year, and consequently, we have been working for months to obtain access for parents and students at the decision-making table, but have been repeatedly told that parents and students will be notified when the process is completed. To be very clear, that it's not acceptable. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a bilingual education council report?
No report was submitted to the record.
Okay, and student advisory? Oh, okay, thank you. And so we'll go to.
No, President
No,
Elliott?
he's here.
Yes,
Our
David is here
student,
with us in person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
And
Hello,
this is the student advisory?
Yes, student leadership. Yep.
All right, thank you. Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dale Bouillon. I'm the president of the Student Leadership Congress and also an 11th grader at Rochester Early College High School. For the Student Leadership Congress's December meeting, students from Early College, World of Inquiry, Edison, P-Tech, School Without Walls, East, Soda, Monroe, and Wilson High School were all representing their schools respectively during this meeting. For our first item on our agenda, SLC members came up with questions for our interim superintendent, Dr. Carmine Peluso. Our questions are about lowering class sizes, addressing attendance issues, recovering learning loss after remote learning, improving urban-suburban programming, improving test scores, and addressing complaints about teachers and administrators. The superintendent also had the opportunity to ask us one question. What is one thing that is working well that we can improve on or add to the district, especially with the upcoming budget drafting season? Students engaged in the conversation discussing more possibilities of eSport teams, virtual classes, driving courses, clubs and field trips, mental health counselors, elective courses based on student interests, and more citywide programming not just unique to one school, such as Soda's art programs or Edison's CTE programs. Dr. Peluso also instructed us with the job of creating budget goals with 3 to 5 things that are important to the students from all high schools. We look forward to our next meeting with Superintendent Peluso. Our second item on agenda, a representative from Rochester Works was also present in the meeting to talk about the Summer of Opportunity, a 10-week program helping students get engaged in a community with a summer job. They are looking for SLC members to become ambassadors to help recruit students for the program and work with Rochester Works during the summer to support the summer employment programs across Rochester. Online applications are open February 1st, 2023 and close March 31st, 2023. Most jobs are Monday to Friday between 12 to 5 p.m., with 16 to 20-year-old students able to work more hours but not exceeding the 40-hour mark. Students have completed the program successfully and working will be eligible to earn $1,700 in 6 weeks. Our third item on agenda, we had vice president voting. Student SLC held a vice president election where all students interested in running had 3 minutes to campaign with a short presentation. After all the presentations concluded, we voted. For this year's president, we have a junior from World of Inquiry, Ms. Shazi Mohammed. And this year's secretary is a sophomore from Wilson Commencement, Ms. Hazel Roberts. For our fourth item on agenda, we also had school service projects. Each school had the opportunity to decide on a service project to benefit their school. Representatives from each school will meet to decide on a service project for their school that will bring voice and community to their schools. Our January 4th meeting will focus on creating a proposal for each project and creating a plan of implementation. We will continue to work on these projects until completion. I would also like to comment on Hillside's Children Center resolutions number 326 and 327. As a student of the Hillside Work Scholarship Program, my advisor, Katina Anderson, has helped me get a job at Wegmans, where I'll still work and where I also met tons of other Hillside students. I know Hillside programs work, and I would love to see this resolution get passed, not just for me, but also other Hillside students in the district who also benefit from Hillside. As always, the SLC is always looking to recruit more students and are very excited to work with the Rochester City School District and board members. Thank you all.
President Elliott, you're muted.
My apologies. So the next item on the agenda is the board reports, and I'll start with the audit committee. Commissioner Patterson.
Thank you. My name is James Patterson, Commissioner. I also am the chairman of the audit committee. The audit committee convened as a committee of the whole on Tuesday, December 6, 2022. The audit committee met with Freed Maxick CPAs, the external auditor, to discuss the results of the financial audit for the year ended June 30th, 2022. The annual comprehensive financial report, or ACFR, includes opinions on the financial statements and the student extracurricular activity funds. The board also received a single audit and management letter. Next point. Resolution 295 is requesting the board to formally accept the independent auditor's report and student activity report from Freed Maxick CPAs, which are within the ASFR. The single audit report, management letter, and district corrective actions must also be accepted and filed with the Commissioner of Education and State Comptroller. Can I have a motion to accept Resolution 295?
Motion.
moved. Oh, second.
So moved by, who moved it?
Commissioner LeBron, Vice
Moved by
President.
Commissioner LeBron and seconded by.
Commissioner Malloy.
Commissioner Malloy. All those in favor?
Well, there's,
Any questions or
any
comments?
questions?
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, any questions?
Any questions or comments?
I see
we
none,
have-
President Elliott.
Can we have a verbal
Excuse me?
vote?
I said I see none, President Elliott. No questions.
Oh, okay, all right, all right.
Can we have a
Okay.
verbal vote?
Yep. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Do we have online voting? All
So,
Online voting is open.
right.
Mr. Patterson, are you also going to present Resolution 337?
I'm going to go down through the list that I have before me, so if you'll be
Okay.
patient with me, I'd appreciate it.
Sure.
You all set, William?
Yes, the voting is completed, past 7-0.
Thank you. With the board's acceptance of the financial reports, this concludes our 5-year contractual relationship with Freed Maxick CPAs as our independent auditor. As required by Education Law 2116-A, the board completed an RFP to select a new independent external auditor. Resolution 337 authorizes the board to enter into an agreement with Drescher and Malicki LLP to perform the financial audit services for up to a 5-year period. Can I have a motion to accept Resolution 295?
So moved. Second.
Second, oh,
All those in favor?
Commissioner Malloy,
Commissioner Malloy motioned, Commissioner Powell seconded, and any questions or
thank
comments?
you. Are there any questions? Can we have a verbal vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Any nays? The ayes have it. And electronic voting is open.
We're all set at past 7-0.
Thank you.
All right.
The next audit
Thank
committee
you.
meeting, excuse me, Madam President. The next audit committee meeting will be held March 7th, 2023. And this concludes my report. Thank you.
I probably should have waited for you to say that, Commissioner Patterson. My apologies for that. The next item on the agenda is the CIGR committee. Commissioner Adams?
The CIGR Committee, in collaboration with the District's Strategic and Community Partnerships Department, held its first in-person annual Family and Community Engagement Forum since the COVID-19 pandemic on Saturday, November 19th at school number 12. The purpose of the forum was to engage parents, guardians, students, school and community stakeholders in a discussion around the important topics that are currently impacting our district and our community. During that forum, over 100 participants attended, including RCSD parents, guardians, students, staff, community vendor representatives, and other community members. As we champion to become one RCSD, this year's theme was Strength and Unity. Opening remarks came from Dr. Carmine Pelusa, with David Bayon, Student Leadership Congress President, following. I'm not sure, I think I might have messed his last name up in there. I apologize if I did. During the forum, adult attendees engaged with vendor tables and participated in 2 different workshop room sessions with a different topic for each room. There were six different rooms that attendees were able to choose from. This year, our 6th through 12th grade students engaged in 2 different sessions for just them, including presenting to all of us in attendance during lunch on why students attend school beyond just academics. In addition, child care was available, just like in previous years, to allow our 3-year-old and up attendees to engage in age-appropriate activities while their parents and guardians engaged in the forum. I would like to personally thank all of those who attended this year's forum. A special shout out, thank you to Principal Kathleen Trepanier from school number 12, the event committee facilitators from the District Administration and Communications Department, and all of our vendors and community partners. Our next CIGR committee meeting is going to be held on February 7th, 2023. Actually, we're going to move that meeting up, and we're going to hold it on January 10th. And that concludes my report. And you're still muted.
Yep. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner Adams. Commissioner Simmons for the ESA report.
Good evening. This is the ESA report out, the Equity and Student Achievement Committee report submitted to the Board of Education at the December 22nd business meeting, obviously this evening. The Equity and Student Achievement Committee met as a committee of the whole on Tuesday, December 13th, 2022. During that meeting, the board reviewed and accepted the minutes from the November 8th, 2022 ESA Committee of the Whole meeting. Also, Chief Academic Officer Shani Keelan provided the November Teaching and Learning presentation focusing on the culture of learning, quarterly cohort tracking, including graduation projections, and the School of Choice process. This presentation was submitted to the record and is available on board docs. The next Equity and Student Achievement Committee of the Whole will take place on Tuesday, January 17th at 5:30 p.m., and that will be 2023. We'll make the correction to that report. Thank you.
You're muted, President Elliott.
I thought I had unmuted. I apologize for that. The next committee report is from Commissioner Powell, the policy report.
Excuse me, President Elliott.
Excuse me.
We
Yeah,
skipped the finance report from Vice President LeBron.
Okay.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
I was like, oh, she's skipping me.
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, President Elliott. The Finance Committee convened as Committee of the Whole on Tuesday, December 20th, 2022. The Finance Committee's discussions focused on the following items: an introduction of the new parent rep, Deveth Garcia. Ms. Garcia is the president of the Bilingual Education Council, and Ms. Garcia was unable to attend Tuesday's meeting, but we're excited to have her join the committee. The board reviewed and accepted the minutes of the October 18, 2022 Finance Cow meeting, an opportunity to review the resolution slated for the January 2023 board business meeting with fiscal implications, and the resolutions were not discussed in length, but commissioners were encouraged to submit questions, comments, or concerns to the administration via the board question log. The November Claims Audit Report was presented by Nowaki Smith LLP. This report is available via board docs. A review of the unaudited November 2022 financial report by our CFO, Sean Farr. The report is also available on board docs. The finalization of the 23-24 board budget priorities is still underway. And based on the current discussion, pay equity has received so far the majority support. The board will continue to engage in conversations to review additional priorities for consideration in future years and alignment with a long-range financial plan. We look forward to hearing the budget priorities from Student Leadership Congress in their recent meeting with Dr. Peluso, in addition to the administration priorities that come up. And lastly, CFO Farr presented the 23-24 preliminary budget forecasts and assumptions. And at this time, can we get a motion to vote to approve the district's unaudited November 2022 financial report? May I have a motion to accept the report?
Second.
Excuse me, Vice President LeBron, that will also include the 2023 first quarter student funds activity report.
Okay, thank you. It wasn't spelled out, but thank you. So it was motioned by Commissioner Simmons, seconded by Commissioner Malloy. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And the next Finance Committee meeting is February 14, 2023. So, and it will be corrected on board docs as well. Thank you. That concludes this report.
Thank you, Vice President LeBron. So now we go to Commissioner Powell for the Policy Committee report.
Thank you. The Policy Committee met as a committee of the whole on November 3rd.
I'm sorry. We approved the minutes of November 3rd. We actually met on December 6th. As always, the policies that have been advanced in the past and are in the pipeline are in the resolution, under old business, unfinished business, because we're in the second reading of 7 of these. And we have 3 that are being presented for their third reading and their vote, along with 1 recommended rescission. This is the first time in many, many months that we have not had anything to present as new business, in part because we are moving through this 9,000 series, which are employee policies. They are in intermediate stages, namely being reviewed by Cabinet. So we will have some policies to review on January 10th, our next committee meeting of the whole. We also, in the last meeting, have made a tiny bit of progress integrating our existing Policy 2000 with a NYSBA recommended Policy 0300. And we continue to fine-tune a proposal for Policy 2350, board video conferencing. So until we get to until we get to unfinished business, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Powell. I do have a president's report, but I'm not going to read it. It is posted, so you can read it at your leisure. We'll go on now down to the superintendent's reports. I'll start with Dr. Peluso.
Thank you, President Elliott. Good evening to you, Vice President LeBron, Board Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to give this month's superintendent's report. I'm excited to let you know that we have reached a tentative agreement with the RTA that strengthens our collaboration and partnership between teachers and the district. We were hopeful that we would be able to, the RTA would be able to ratify the contract today and we'd be able to vote on it this evening. But with this school closure, we were not able to do that, so they will be ratifying the contract on January 3rd, and I will be bringing it forth to vote on the January 3rd reorganization meeting. In front of you tonight for consideration is our facilities modernization plan. This is phase 3, which includes $475 million approved by the state of New York for us to improve learning spaces, update athletic facilities with state-of-the-art amenities, and expand areas in schools that nurture student expression. The six schools that we will be voting on, 8 buildings, but 6 schools, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. School, number 9, which will include infrastructure upgrades, classroom renovations, flexible classroom spaces, security upgrades with a project cost of approximately $30 million. Northwest Junior High at Douglas will be receiving some infrastructure upgrades, flexible classroom spaces, classroom renovations, and security upgrades with a approximate projected cost of $91 million. East, Lower, and Upper schools will be completing the improvements started in phase 1 and 2, including security infrastructure upgrades, the auditorium, the music wing, with the estimated project cost of about $22 million. Edison Career and Technology High School will be completing the improvements started in phase 1 and 2, including CTE investments and security upgrades with an approximate cost of $69 million. And the Franklin campus will be receiving some major infrastructure upgrades, increased CTE spaces, additional flexible classroom spaces, and security upgrades with a projected cost of $153 million. And Wilson is the last building, which will have some major infrastructure upgrades, intensive roof repair, right-sizing classrooms, increased flexible classroom spaces, and security upgrades with a projected cost of $105 million. We're also excited to announce our comprehensive campaign for student recruitment and enrollment. In an effort to disrupt the declining enrollment, the district has launched a comprehensive recruitment and enrollment campaign. The School of Choice, the lottery process for students entering kindergarten, 7th, and 9th grade, has transitioned to a more convenient digital enrollment with a greater focus on student and family engagement. This year, high schools are being showcased to highlight the unique programming available to students entering 9th grade via a digital magazine available on our website. School counselors are connecting with students and reviewing high school offerings for those needing to select a new school. A targeted multimedia campaign, including TV, radio, billboard, social media, and streaming ads, will begin with the lottery process and continue through next year to help increase enrollment. Just want to say some of the pictures that are being posted, we're going to be posting on billboards. They truly, from our communications department, have done an amazing job of capturing our students in our schools. So they are really amazing pictures. The Rock Urban Teaching Fellows. We have embarked on a first-of-its-kind program with partnering from Higher Education. The Rock Urban Teaching Fellowship Program is at 3 schools in our district. Graduate students from the University of Rochester and Nazareth College are district employees in their first year teaching at schools number 15, number 23, and East High School. Similar to what a medical residency would be, these students are employees of the district, paid a salary with benefits, and are provided $10,000 towards their graduate school tuition. They're working in our schools now as teachers and in the process of getting a master's degree and achieving New York State teacher certification. Really super proud of this program. I would say that, when we're struggling to find teachers, and sometimes the response may be to reduce requirements or reduce the ability for people to get certification, we just want to make sure that they're provided the support throughout a year so that they're successful and we're able to retain them. So I'm very excited about this program and this partnership. The College March, this was great. I had the opportunity and pleasure of celebrating with the World of Inquiry class of 2023 earlier this week. They completed their annual College March from World of Inquiry to City Hall. They were marching down the streets with the band. It was loud. It was great. They were so happy. You could see their joy and smiles on their face, even though it was a little chilly. They were amazing. Students, as they got to City Hall, students had mailed letters declaring their intent to college that they're going to apply for. This was a great opportunity to show our seniors the path to success and lighting the way for other students to show them the importance of education beyond high school. So really an amazing event. Finally, we have another News 10 NBC Scholar of the Week. Dakari Buchanan, a junior running back at Edison Tech, was recently selected by Channel 10. Dakari is a talented football player and excels both in the classroom and on the field. He hopes to continue playing football while studying medicine when he goes to college. That concludes my superintendent report for the month of December. I do want to say to our families and students, have a wonderful holiday break. Be safe as we have some cold impending weather on our way. And, I forgot the Office of Parent Engagement. I do want to announce an exciting opportunity with Office of Parent Engagement. I'm sorry, it's the last slide. It cut off on my sheet here, but another opportunity where we're excited to announce parent engagement, parent connections, and we're going to be offering classes for our parents again. This is reinstated, something that we've done in the past, so we're really excited about re-engaging in this opportunity as well. I once again want to wish our families a great holiday, a happy new year. Please, like I said, the weather's going to be extreme and cold temperatures tonight and tomorrow. Be safe while you're traveling, and if you need anything as a district, we are here to support, so thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Peluso. And, this is your first meeting as our new superintendent, and thank you so very much. And so I will now turn it to Dr. Nelms, who is the superintendent for our East EPO. Dr. Nelms?
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations.
I'm sorry, Dr. Nelms. I want to apologize, President Elliott. Dr. Peluso missed a slide, and it was just caught. So if he can just acknowledge that slide very quickly, and then we can turn it over to Dr. Nelms. Sorry about that, Dr. Nelms.
Thank you.
I do apologize. I had 2 slides that were cut off on my presentation, so I would be remiss, and this is a huge one. If I missed this, I would be so disappointed. I'm so proud of Jasmine Floyd. She is one of our 25 students statewide who have been nominated for the U.S. Presidential Scholars Program, one of our nation's highest honors for high school students. So this is, 25 students in the state of New York. 25, and one of them's here, one of ours at World of Inquiry. Jasmine is happiest when she is helping people in her school. I'm glad that her academic achievement is receiving the attention it deserves. Jasmine will be notified in May if she's a finalist for the program, and if she is, she will receive a Presidential Scholar Medallion in June. Myself and the whole district stand in awe as we watch Jasmine and what she's been able to accomplish. So I thank and congratulate Jasmine for all of her amazing work. Thank you.
Dr. Nelms.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Nelms.
Thank you. No, that's definitely worth taking a pause for. It seems like kids like Jasmine are the type of kids I would have been cheating off of in the cafeteria trying to finish my homework in the morning before school. So congratulations, Jasmine. I know your family are extremely proud of you, as we all are. Today's presentation.
You can't be saying that you're going to be cheating, though, Dr. Nelms.
I said I would have been in high school, not
No.
No. In all seriousness, I'm really proud of her and all the students who are doing incredible work. But I really want to start by thanking the board for selecting Carmine Peluso. He's an amazing resource for this community. He has a strong history here. And congratulations to you, Cynthia Elliott, Commissioner Elliott, for making your first choice as commissioner, president of the board. And best of luck to you, Carmine. My presentation is going to be brief. I'm going to talk about a couple of things happening at East this month and next. First, I want to just give a huge shout out to our students in our medical careers program. These students can finish their capstone project in partnership with the School of Nursing. It was an amazing experience for families to come out and see these students perform at very high levels and working with physicians and nurses on issues that pertain and that are very important to Rochester in the world. So best of luck to them on their pathway towards nursing. Next up is our students in our medical careers class also are working with the department, various departments and you all are professionals around phlebotomy and looking at pathways to go right from high school into that medical space and or a career in different parts of that institution. And they continue to do work on this this table. You have to come visit. It's a 3D table. You can like tear layers of skin back. You can go into the blood vessels. You can see how the blood works. This table is so advanced that many of the physicians who come in are trying to get those ordered for the hospital also. So we thank these students for really focusing on the work and pursuing their medical career and journeys. Our students took a tour of the Memorial Art Gallery, upper school students, and it was more of like an artist residency program where I got a chance to see different forms of art and also have deep discussions. And they went back to the building and they'll be trying to recreate some of these forms in the future. So it was art, it was history, it was inquiry, and the Memorial Art Gallery continues to be a partner for students who really want to explore art as a potential career or as a life's passion. Again, these students here continue to spend time in phlebotomy. These same students went out and they volunteered in the community, and they went to go sort medical supplies so they can help efficiencies within the emergency department. And so these students continue to not just do the medical side, but also look at the service side of being a physician. We are so lucky to have a caring group of staff members who allow us to take some of our half days and create our SEL days or social emotional learning days, where teachers get a chance to share some of their talents with students and teach students how to bake. They might do knitting, they might bake cookies. We have therapy dogs, but also the students bring their individual talents in also. And so it's really an opportunity for the school to freeze for a set and just allow everyone to just be humanistic and to share our talents and skills and our passions and to learn a little bit more about one another. You know, as the saying goes, kids don't know how much you know until they know how much you care. and the teaching staff and support staff, administrative staff at East continue to make caring and restorative practices a core of their work, and I appreciate them for that. The next slide is an illustration of some of the work that our creative students are doing in our arts program. As I said, some of those students engage at the Memorial Art Gallery, but others are learning how to create ceramics and sculptures. Part of the phase 2 of the FMP was to enhance the art programs at East, and they got those big ceramic clay machines, and students are in there just constantly forming and making new art. And I usually purchase a piece every year. And when I saw these online by our teacher, Ms. Donlin, I said, I want that leaf. If you see the details and that up close, that student did an amazing job. But there's a full display, and I encourage folks to come over and see the incredible work that our artists and our musicians are doing. Often the athletes get a lot of the shine, but there are so many talents in all of our schools, and we have to continue to highlight them. One of the community aspects of the school is to reach out to local artists and local experts. This particular expert we're featuring this month is Michael Boas. He is the owner of Mad Dog Movies and a visiting lecturer at Rochester Institute of Technology. And he was working with students around a process called stop motion animation, and walked the kids through the entire process of making these characters come alive, if you will. And so every month we try to bring in as many experts as we can. You might recall during Thanksgiving, we had a pumpkin carver come in. And so we continue to think about the connections between our students and the community with our students, and getting experts to come in and share their passions just expands our child's knowledge and also their exposure to new things. East Winter Concert happened this last week. It was an amazing concert. It's really cool to watch a school transition. When we first started, we had a really large chorus and a very small band and orchestra, and it seems like you're finding that perfect balance now where you have an active chorus, but you also have a huge band. We have this modern band, it's called, and there's a bunch of kids out there just rocking out and having a great time. And so it feels good to be back from COVID and watching the kids re-engage in the various art forms in the school, and have an active concert and an active musical program is great. My ultimate dream is to have a musical production like you'd see in some of the other schools in our county. And I'm going to be working towards hopefully getting the Wiz to be the first production that we do within our school. I can't think of, we had one production, I think in year 3, but we haven't had a large musical production since. And I know that's something that's a staple in most suburban schools, and I want to see us bring that type of production to Rochester. This is for a community kind of notice. The Upstate New York's NWE Summit is going to take place on January 24th. We are, want to make sure that our parents and our business owners out there take advantage of this. The first half of the morning is to talk about how to maximize your NWBE status or to gain it. The second half is actually pairing up individuals who own businesses with employers who are trying to fill contracts and looking for vendors to support that. So I'm encouraging parents, uncles, cousins, if you have an NWBE certification or you're working towards it, this is the thing for you. It's free, and it's really an effort for a bunch of us working together, thinking about how do we get parents and community more engaged in the vendor process, and this is one of many ways to build generational wealth. To also mention, after the holidays, the 26th is the start of Kwanzaa. I encourage the community to look at the WXXI film that's been produced. It was produced by 3 amazing women in Rochester, and it's something that's going to be shared throughout the state, in Philly and Pittsburgh, and I think on the West Coast also, but it features individuals from Rochester in the film and talking about each principle, what it means to them. So I encourage individuals to look on the WXXI page and learn something about Kwanzaa and hear it from people who are either born, raised, live, or have lived in this community. And that concludes my my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nelms. And so we will go into consideration of resolutions, and we have a consent agenda of resolutions. So I'm going to go from ask for a motion for resolutions 296 through 301. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Malloy. Who was it seconded by?
Vice President LeBron.
Vice President LeBron. Any questions or comments regarding resolutions 296 through 301? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Adams raised his hand, President Elliott.
Okay, all right, sorry. Commissioner Adams?
Yeah, I just see something on here that I can't let Anthony Jordan get away without acknowledging the good work that he has put in for this district. And I just tip my hat to him and wish him all the success.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you.
President Elliott, Commissioner Malloy has her hand up.
Just
Right,
wanted to
Commissioner
also just congratulate Mr. Jordan on and what he's pursuing next, and thank him for his service to the district. Thank you.
All right. Any other
President-
comments that I may?
Yeah, President Elliott, looks like Commissioner Stubbins as well. And then I would like to
right.
say something.
And here
Okay.
too.
Yes, just also want to commend and congratulate Tony Jordan on his new accomplishment and where he'll go, and also the work that he's done with this district for a number of years.
He's not here, but his
Any other
Yes.
remarks?
President Elliott,
Yes, ma'am.
myself, I just want to also thank Tony Jordan for his work and dedication in the district. And Tony and I go way back to the city. I will not say where he's going. However, I do look forward to continuously working with him in the community. Thank you.
And I would just say,
Commissioner Powell?
Commissioner Powell?
Thank you for deferring, Madam President. Yes, I've been really grateful for Anthony's work with the Student Leadership Congress in particular. And it's funny, I just passed a note to our student representative that it falls on him to ensure that the Student Leadership Congress's charter and bylaws are renewed. And with Anthony gone, that burden falls on the next advisor to the SLC as well. So, Carmine, whoever you've tasked to do that, you know where my heart is and my expectations are for that. But Anthony has been just wonderful to work with. He really took an interest in my son, who is active in SLC, and I'll be forever grateful for the personal touch that he brought to that position. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Powell. And I would just end by saying to Tony, he already knows. You know, we go back a long ways, and you know, there's not anything I need to say. He already knows, and I do wish him much success on his next endeavor. We will be missing, you know, a great person in this district. But whatever his new plans are, again, I wish him much success in those endeavors. So thank you for your work here. And, you know, I know you'll be doing some other work in our community. Thank you. Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're talking about 296 through 301. Any opposed? None? All right, thank you. Is there a motion for
Are we electronically
resolution?
voting? Are we voting electronically?
Yeah, we did.
Electronic voting
okay.
was open and individuals did.
Oh, I don't see it yet. Did you see it?
You can continue, President Elliott.
All right, so I'm going to bundle up the human capital resolutions, resolutions 302 through 307. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Malloy, seconded by Vice President LeBron. Any questions or comments relating to resolutions 302 through 307? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. the East EPOs. Now, I'm told that we're going to withdraw 308 and 309, Superintendent Nelms, and that they are down in the bottom of the agenda. Can you explain that to me,
Yep,
please?
section 22. So when the original resolutions were put in, there was a different funding code, and the codes had to be adjusted. So we adjusted the codes and resubmitted them for this packet.
So we will not be voting on resolutions 308 and 309, correct?
You will vote on them in section 22.
But they have a different, if I'm not mistaken, I thought they had a different resolution number.
You are
So
correct,
they're-
President Elliott. They will have a different resolution number.
So what do we do with the 308 and the 309?
They are going to be withdrawn. I'm filling that in now as Dr. Nelms has withdrawn them.
Okay, very good, very good. Is there a motion on resolution 310?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Malloy, seconded by Vice President LeBron. Any questions or comments relating to resolution 310? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Can I get a motion for resolution 311?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner
Second.
Lloyd, seconded by Vice President LeBron. Any questions or comments on resolution 311? So I do have a question with regard to the increase, because I think if what I read has to do with the increase of something around 700,000. So can someone talk about the increase in this contract?
I could start, and then if I have Chief Officer Schmidt that can come and fill up any gaps, but this is really an increase of bus attendants and bus routes. It's not an increase in funding, it's a movement of money from another transportation company that is not able to kind of deliver the service the same way, so we're moving it to increase buses and increase bus attendants, but I will ask Chief Officer Schmidt to fill in additional information.
The only thing I would add is that it's not unusual for us to do this in this environment with the shortage of drivers. As work becomes, either new work is added to us or work we've shifted in the first couple of months, we wait for the work to solidify so we know, so we can have a firm number when we come to this. We only want to come back and actually revise this contract one time. So that's the reason why it's coming in December. We give it about 2 months, and then we have the gap of getting the resolution to the board.
So explain it to me again, that what are we doing here? We've got an increase of...
So, I'm sorry, President Elliott. So, the work that Ontario has taken on with some of the charter schools involves elementary age students, and many of those students on those buses require bus attendants. So,
oh, okay,
all
right.
The first student would have done this work in a sense, and they would have had the bus attendants. Now that Ontario picked it up, we have to adjust their contract to reflect that. So it's a shift of resources from one contractor to the other, but not an increase to the budget.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So next resolution is resolution 3.
President Elliott, we have to vote on it.
All right. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Is there a, can I get a motion for resolution 312?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Malloy, seconded by Vice President LeBron. Any questions or comments related to resolution 312?
Just a point of order, Madam President. Now that we're well past the HR resolutions, we should be asking the student representative for his advisory vote prior to our own vote.
All right, thank you. So in reference to resolution 312, your student vote, I think Dan?
My name is David. I wasn't sure that I was actually going to vote.
David?
But, I guess, yes, I do vote.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Put you on the spot, too. I'm sorry.
Thank you. So we'll go down to school resolutions under section 15. Is there a motion for resolution 313 through 317?
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Commissioner Malloy, seconded by Vice President LeBron. Any questions or comments with regard to resolutions 313 through 317? Hearing none, I'll get David's student vote, advisory vote first.
Yes, I do vote. And my name is
All
David,
right.
not Davis, but you're
His name is David, President Elliott.
That's what I just said, didn't I? I didn't say David?
You said Davis, but that's okay.
You said, he's
All right.
saying you said Davis with an S. It's with a D.
No, that's not what I said. But anyway, I got it right, David, because I like my T on my name, so
She really does. She really does.
I like my T on my name, so thank you for the correction. The vote for my colleagues, 313 through 317?
Aye.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you. So resolutions, can I get a motion for resolution 318 through 319?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Malloy, seconded by Vice President LeBron. Any questions or comments related to resolution 318 and 319? I do have a question with regard to getting the vote here. On resolution 318, it looks like services interpretation in services for, let me just get it. They seem to be under, I think they were services for interpretation, if I'm not mistaken. And I was wondering why those services were under special education.
Good evening, President Elliott and rest of the board. These services for ME supports for interpretation and translation are specific to CSE meetings and meetings that are held with the Office of Special Education for parents.
And can I get an explanation for resolution 319? I wasn't clear on what was being asked of us to consider.
Again, 319 is our reoccurring resolution that provides authorization for the CSE meetings to take place and be secured.
All right, thank you. So all those in favor of resolutions 318 and 319?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I'm an aye. Thank you. Is there a motion for resolutions 320 through 321?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Malloy, seconded by Vice President LeBron. Any questions or comments relating to resolution 320 and 321? Hearing none, all those in favor? And let me get the advisory vote from David. David, your advisory vote?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion can I get a motion for resolution 322 through 331? And let me just say on resolution 330,
Yes.
I will be abstaining because that's my place of employment. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Malloy, seconded by Vice President LeBron. Any questions or comments related to these groups of, this group of resolutions, sorry. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the advisory vote from David?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
It's not advisory, it comes after the vote.
Is there a motion, can I get a motion for resolution 332?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Malloy, seconded by Vice President LeBron. Any questions or comments regarding this resolution? I do, can Linda, can you explain what this resolution is for? Or Dr. Peluso, let me go to you.
Okay.
I'm trying to do protocol.
Yep, I got you. Is Chief of Staff Simmons on? So this is for digitizing records in, that are at Hudson Street location, right? But I know that is Chief Simmons on? Yep, there she is.
Yes, thank you. There was a large contract that you approved in past months, and since that time, there were many records that were discovered, many more records that were discovered, so we're simply asking to increase the contract and to allow us to get all those records that were discovered in basements and Hart Street in order to get it all done at once.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions regarding Resolution 332? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Student advisory vote first.
Aye.
Aye. All those in favor? I'll come back to the advisory. Aye. All right. David, can I get your vote?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Resolution, can I get a motion for Resolution 334?
So
Motion,
moved.
oh, sorry.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Malloy, seconded by Vice President LeBron.
Yeah, we'll take
right.
that.
Any questions or comments on Resolution 334? Dr. Peluso, I'll go to you. Any comments on this? This is our FMP plan that we're going to be voting on for our Phase 3. Any additional comments on that?
Nope, just that I appreciate the work sessions, the community feedback that we've had, the process that we followed in order to identify these schools. Just, knowing our recent times and where we are in labor and cost, we wish we could do more with the 475 million, but right now these are, what we believe are going to be investments for many years to come in our district. So we're excited about the work and we're looking forward to getting started with once we have the approval.
All right, so can I get a vote? Let me get the advisory vote first. David?
Aye.
Aye. Can I get the rest of my colleagues a vote on this?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. So we're getting ready to go into our Phase 3. Is there a motion for Resolution 335 and 336? Let me split this up. I will just ask for a motion for Resolution 335. Because Commissioner Powell, would you like to comment on the multiple policies? And I could just have them, we could vote on them as a standalone item?
Sure, if you want to break them up, that's fine with me.
Yeah. Is there a motion for Resolution 335?
So moved.
Who's that? Commissioner Malloy?
Yes, and then seconded by Commissioner Adams.
And Commissioner Adams, thank you. Any questions or comments relating to Resolution 335? Hearing none, let me get the advisory vote. David?
Aye.
Aye. And vote for my colleagues. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. So Commissioner Powell, let me just offer at this point let me give a motion for Resolution 336.
Sure, thank you. Resolution 336 includes 3 amended policies. 4360, Teaching of Controversial Issues, Policy 4830.1, District Community Collaborative Presentations, Programs, and Services, and Policy 5305, Eligibility for Extracurricular Activities. I would put that motion forward, and thank you for that opportunity.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Oh, second.
Who was that?
It was Commissioner Patterson and motion by Commissioner Powell.
All right. Any questions or comments relating to Resolution 336? And let me get the advisory vote from David
Aye.
and the vote from my colleagues.
Aye.
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 All right. Any opposed? Thank you. So we'll go down to Resolutions 338 and 339. Can I get a motion for those resolutions?
Those were the ones that were pulled, President Elliott, so I think they were just put down in that area.
No, those were the East resolutions that were just withdrawn, and so these are the updated ones with the correct budgeting and new resolution numbers, so they do need to be voted on.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
moved.
President Elliott.
All right. So is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Malloy. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Patterson, is that, all right. Any questions or comments related to resolutions 338 and 339? Hearing none, let me get the advisory vote from David.
Aye.
Thank you. And from the remainder, my colleagues, can I get
Nay.
a vote?
Aye.
Nay?
Aye.
I'm a no.
I'm a nay, President Elliott, and
Okay.
Board Clerk
All right.
Sonia.
Yes.
Oh, that's a
So,
nay.
I
That's
don't
3
know-
nays.
All right. So does it carry?
Yes, 4-3.
All right. All right. Thank you. And we have some unfinished business.
President Elliott, we have Resolution 339 as well.
I thought we voted
were
on those at
together.
the same time.
Did you bundle them? Oh, okay, I'm
I thought I
sorry. She
bundled
bundled them?
Right?
Yeah, she put them together.
I thought she separated them. No, I thought you
Not
just,
those.
I thought they were.
At least I don't believe I did, but do we need to vote on it, Rahima?
If we can, I only heard the motion for 338.
Okay, all right. Resolution 339, is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by
second.
Commissioner Malloy, seconded by Vice President LeBron. Any questions or comments related to Resolution 339? Hearing none, I'll get the advisory vote from David.
Aye.
All right, and all the rest of my colleagues, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that carries. All right, so I'll go down under unfinished business. Commissioner Powell, I'll turn this over to you. I'm assuming these are policies, second readings,
Right.
so I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. And for our student representative, I'll address you directly because this is your first time through, but if you have access to board docs, you'll see that each of the policies appears in a track changes version, so you can see what change is being proposed from the old to the new, and you'll also see a clean copy, so that if it's easier to read as a clean copy. We have 7 policies that were presented last month and will be voted on next month. And I'll take them one at a time just to give anyone a chance to comment on them if they wish. The first is Instructional Staff and Materials, Policy 4010. Is there any comment on that? For the public, next month will be your last opportunity to voice any concerns or make any comments prior to our vote. The second policy under consideration is Policy 4205 and 4205E, Exhibit with Exhibit. This is the pre-referral investigation strategies in general ed. So this is an activity that takes place prior to them becoming referred for special ed committee. Any questions, comments, or concerns on this policy? Again, to the public, the board has seen this in policy committee, and it was an opportunity was presented last month as in its first reading. The third policy is Policy 4206 and an accompanying exhibit. This is the response to intervention, RTI, process. Are there any comments, concerns, or questions? Hearing none. The fourth is Policy 4311.1, display of the flag. This is essentially procedures that have been embedded in since the beginning of our democracy under the United States Navy. And we just take those parts of that policy, of those procedures that are relevant to school districts. Policy 4314.2 is School to Work Transition Initiative. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none. The next is Policy 4314.3, Service Learning. Any comments, concerns, or questions? Hearing none. The final in the second reading packet is Policy 4326, instruction of limited English proficient students. Any comments, concerns, or questions? Hearing none, Madam President, that concludes the I take that back. There's, the last thing under unfinished business is a proposal to rescind policy 4110, school calendar. Of course, the board continues to vote on the school calendar, but it was recommended by NYSBA that this policy was unnecessary and redundant to basic process. That concludes our presentation on unfinished business, Madam President.
Thank you. Let me just say, I made a mistake on voting on a particular resolution that I wanted to vote against. But since I vote, and this has to do with Resolution 329, but since I voted on it, I'll be sending you all my a statement in terms of, and this is reference to Planned Parenthood, in reference to my opposition to this particular resolution. I'm not sure if I can go back and change my vote on it, but I will be sending to the board my opposition to this particular resolution, and particularly the impact that it has on students of color and the history of Planned Parenthood and as it relates to African Americans. There's a history of this being, you know, since Planned Parenthood was created. Margaret Sanger was not a friend to the African American community, and but I will send this in writing to the board members. So I will not support it. I made a mistake in voting yes for it, and.
Sorry, President.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, President Ellis, sorry to interrupt. Yep, so the board can entertain a motion to reconsider. It would have to be submitted by someone from the prevailing, and I think this passed unanimously. So any commissioner could introduce a vote to reconsider that particular motion, and then the board just revotes, and so you could have your vote recorded the way you want it recorded. So.
Okay.
You just need a motion to reconsider that part.
I'll motion to reconsider, President Elliott.
I'll second.
Thank you. So yeah, because of the history of this Planned Parenthood as it impacts the African American community, I would not support this relationship with the school district. And let me just go back. I remember years ago getting a call from someone in the community that her child was given the birth control without the parent's consent. And the only way that the parent knew that the child was giving this birth control is because the child got sick. And the student told her what was happening. So, we're talking about this impact in 7th and 8th graders. And my concern is the reproductive health of our students and our young girls in the future. And I just saw with regard to, let me just speak about abortion too, because it appears that Black women are aborting children more than any other group. And is that by design? An example of that is about 74% of the abortions that are done within the state of Mississippi are Black women. And so it just seems that that's a disproportionate number for this demographic than others. And so I don't want to support this. So my vote is no on this.
All right, President Elliott, Commissioner Adams has his hand up.
Okay, Mr. Adams?
Yeah, so I can't just sit here and not acknowledge what I heard from the students yesterday at a soapbox. And their position was totally different. It was one of them, they get tired of, all they're being learning about is abstinence. And that they can't relate with that. That's not real for them. And I had invited them yesterday to maybe come and present to the board and the community. And I just thank you for what you're doing now is you're reinforcing me to make sure I get them here to give because they're the ones that's impacted, our youth, our students. And so I'd like to just, I have to just say that I'm going to get them up in here on my committee and let their voice be heard. And that's all I have.
All right.
President
Thank
Elliott,
you.
I do want to just comment in regards to young women being young girls in seventh or eighth grade. You are allowed after 12, that is the law, to seek medical attention, including birth control, without your parents there. And I know parents don't like it. I had to deal with it too. It's going to come up again for me in another year. But it is law and it is in place for the protections and the advocacy of children and young adults to be able to self-regulate, self-identify, and have a safe place to go so that they can practice safe sex. And I just have to put that out there, that it's not just Planned Parenthood. If they were to go to Rochester Regional Health, Strong, Jordan, they would have access and a right to ask for birth control, including our health centers, because that is what the law allows. And I just have to say that because I don't want parents to think that Planned Parenthood is pushing birth control and that it's only happening there. That girls, young girls, have a right after 12 to seek medical attention and ask for an adult to not be in the room, including their parents. So I just want to put that out there.
Thank you. David. I won't comment on it.
Oh, I'm sorry, President Elliott. David, our student rep, also would like to speak and say something.
Yeah, as a student in this community, who also grew up and raised in Rochester, I know a lot of students of color who, or a lot of mothers of color who are impacted by having children at a young age. And I know that if they had access to birth control or abortions when they were younger, they would probably much appreciate it. Because I think we all, understand that having children young is a very daunting task, especially in this community with not a lot of support for young mothers. So to have access to birth control and even knowledge about birth control or other ways to accept abstinence, because I know I took health in 8th grade, 9th grade. They said abstinence, abstinence, abstinence. That's not the only solution. I think that's an unrealistic solution, especially in the 20th century. So having access to birth control or having health clinics in school. I know that California, they're thinking about opening up Planned Parenthoods in their schools. I think that's a great idea. I think giving access to health to not just young women, but young men as well, teaching them that abstinence isn't the only birth control solution. There's also, adoption, literally anything else, There's so much more to just than, I don't know.
But David, I would also suggest that you research the history of Margaret Sanger and who she was.
I think that we can agree to disagree that there's a lot of things with everybody, but Planned Parenthood as an institution, giving access to urban communities the right to have abortions, to get the things that they need, I think that outweighs what we might consider, because we had for example, we changed our names of our schools to different names because we had racist, ties to those schools. So I think that we can say that to a lot of things, but Planned Parenthood as an institution has helped urban communities a lot. And if we can continue to say it's not, but if it isn't, then we can find other solutions to help our communities with that. So.
I don't know this for sure, but I would wonder, if this is also happening in suburban districts.
It's not, because suburban districts, they have the access. I would say that they have more access to healthcare and more other things than we do here, and especially
that's problematic though. To me.
It is problematic, and that's why helping and giving more infrastructure so students can get the healthcare they need in this school district is good. So.
Yeah.
Okay, David.
So my vote is no.
Okay, David.
President Elliott, Commissioner Powell wants to talk. You also have the mic for Commissioner Malloy and Commissioner Simmons, who also would like to speak.
All right, so you all just start. Who, Commissioner Malloy, just start and then go down to the Commissioner Simmons, and is it Commissioner Powell that wants to have a conversation and wants to discuss it?
Yes.
Yeah, just go down the line.
The point of order, I think, takes precedent over other conversation. And my point of order.
I can't hear you, Commissioner Powell.
I said a point of order takes precedent over other conversation. And my question in my point of order is, does the motion to rescind, having been made and seconded, need to be voted on before we actually have discussion of the motion?
I thought we had discussion first and then we voted on it.
No, so the motion to reconsider, right, so it was made, seconded, it should be voted voted on first to decide whether you are going to reconsider the question. And then the question arises anew, so then you vote on the underlying motion anew. So my recommendation is to complete the vote on the motion to reconsider, which is before the body right now, and then introduce that motion again for the underlying question, and then you can have further discussion. So just so that doesn't get lost, that the procedure doesn't get lost, I would recommend that the body vote on the motion to reconsider itself now, then introduce the question, and then have a conversation, and then vote again.
All right,
Is
so.
that clear?
Yep, yep.
So there is a second, the motion from Vice President LeBron and seconded by Commissioner Malloy.
Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
So we're voted on rescinding.
President Elliott, you just voted yes on the resolution that you basically brought up to vote nay, so I don't know if you caught that.
She needs to vote yes to
open it.
reconsider.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
right,
So voting
right.
yes, that vote was just to bring the question properly back before the body.
Right,
And so now we
right.
can introduce that motion again and then re-vote on the motion.
Okay.
Okay.
So, okay, so all those in favor of resolution
No, she has to propose the
Excuse me?
resolution again. We need to make a motion for the
That's right.
resolution now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to do.
You need a motion and a second.
Motion.
That's what I was getting
Or
ready
a
to
second,
do.
motioned by Commissioner Malloy, seconded by myself, President Elliott.
Yeah, so so a motion by Commissioner
Malloy.
Malloy, seconded by Vice President LeBron. So,
So
all
now you
those
can
in
have the
favor
discussion
of
that you
resolution
want to have.
329?
Thank you, and you had Commissioner Malloy and Commissioner Simmons who had their hands up next, President Elliott.
Okay, Commissioner Simmons.
I'm not necessarily looking to deliberate. I just actually wanted to commend David on his feedback. Yeah, I was trying to figure out the word, how I wanted to use it, but I enjoy your research and the things that you're bringing, and I look forward to what you will bring to this board as we continue. That's all.
I also.
Any other?
I also
Any
wanted
other-
to.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. David, thank you so much. As a teacher, I'm always looking for students to express themselves, and I'm just so proud of you right now for speaking up. Thank you so much.
Any other comments?
No, President Elliott, I don't see no one's hands up.
All right, thank you. So is there a vote for resolution 329? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I oppose. The advisory vote from David?
Aye.
All right, thank you. So there is, and thank you for allowing me to have that discussion and going back and revisiting that resolution. Thank you. So I don't think we have any executive session items, correct?
Correct.
All right, so we will do the board survey and then we will end the meeting.
President Elliott, can I just wish a happy holidays to our students, family, and parents and community members, and that they have a safe holiday and that they stay safe from the storm that's upcoming. But we do want to wish them all, as the board, a happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner LeBron.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
What are we talking about?
Motion to adjourn.
They were taking a board poll.
We've got to do the board poll first.
Right.
Hurry, folks.
So what they supposed to, I mean, sometimes we get too far gone, what they supposed to strike my comment from the record or something?
We didn't take a vote to adjourn yet.
No, we haven't
Right,
yet.
we've not officially adjourned the
We
meeting.
haven't adjourned the meeting yet.
No,
we never took the vote on it. Because
That's because we're completing the survey.
But we can adjourn and people can continue to finish the survey if they're still doing it.
Yep, let's finish the survey. Do you have all the votes, Rahima?
No, so the motion was made by Commissioner Malloy, I believe, and seconded by Vice President LeBron, but we didn't take a vote on it.
No, I'm talking about in terms of the survey. Did you complete-
Oh,
I think we're all done.
can't, we don't track the survey in that way, so I can't see how
okay.
many individuals
All
are
right.
filling it out.
Okay, all right, very good.
So we still need to vote on the adjournment.
Yep, all those in favor?
No, aye. We just need to vote. Aye.
Aye.
Have a happy holiday, everyone, and a happy new
All
year.
right, bye-bye.
I'm just